All right, next we have the Father of Cups. This is water energy, so this could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But with this card, if it is a person, they have their head and heart is balanced. They are an emotional, like emotional people, like not in a negative way, but, like they're open-hearted, they're kind, they're considerate. But they could also be a mentor for you as well. But this can also point to emotional control if it's not a person that's talking about managing situations logically and having balance between your head and your heart. And mastering your emotions. And probably staying away from drama and, getting out of things like that. And it could not be someone else. It could be you. Maybe somebody's coming to you for advice. But next we have this Six of Wands in reverse, which is excess pride or ego or lack of recognition. Like perhaps you're not getting the feedback for the efforts you put in, and you're not getting the results that you expected. Or maybe you've done some work and you feel like you're being punished instead. Like, I've done all this, why am I not getting what I want? This can also be a private victory, something personal that you have accomplished and you just don't share it with others. Maybe you're too shy to share it with others. It can be that as well. All right. Next we have the Temperance card in reverse, and this is a lack of balance. It's warning you that if you take a certain path, it will lead to turbulence and excess. This is a lack of a long-term plan. All things are in good moderation. Examine what aspects of your life are breaking balance. This could also talk about internal disharmony, or the environment that's around you is in imbalance or disharmony. Next, we have the Two of Cups in reverse, and this can be tension or imbalance or broken communication. This can also be a relationship falling apart or some kind of tension within some type of relationship. This could be within self, within a love relationship, a friendship, a partnership, between family members. And there could be like a disharmony going on here and distrust. And this can also point to self-love as well as, maybe you're guarding yourself in a way because you fear being vulnerable about your emotions or what's going on. And it's causing disharmony and discommunication within self or within a relationship of any sort. It doesn't have to be romantic. Here we have the Four of Pentacles, and this is conservation. This is frugality, overly cautious, fear of loss. And it's saying to you, don't lose sight of what's important. Sometimes you hang on to something too tight and it cuts yourself off from other possibilities. And this can also say that changes in our life feel like a threat to our safety and security. All right, next we have the Two of Pentacles. And with the Two of Pentacles, this is balancing decisions, priorities, adapting to change. Cut down on tasks if you need to. Sometimes you think multitasking will help you get through something, and usually it just makes the matter worse in this case. If you need to, ask for help, ask for assistance. Examine these aspects of your life that are bringing you down. Are you putting too much time in work and not enough time at home? Are you spending too much time shopping and money's going out and you spending more than you make? It's what I'm talking about. It's just those type of things where there's not a balance, or there's just too much going on, and you need to balance those things and get things on an even keel. Next, we have this Five of Wands in reverse. This is avoiding conflict. This could be ignoring a problem or deflecting. But on a good sense, it also can be respecting differences of opinions. And this can talk about internal conflict, that maybe you are working through those issues and dealing with these things that are bothering you, whether it's negative aspects within yourself, doubt, feeling like you're not worthy, a harsh critic for yourself. Or this could also point back to this Two of Pentacles, different things that are competing for you and causing conflict. You're needing to work through those, not deflect them. Next, we have the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, grief, suffering. Through pain, we learn. This can come out of the blue. It's saying to you, get knocked down. But even though you get knocked down, and it could be a breakup, it could be a loss, it could be whatever it is, it's causing you pain. And it can be in a mental way, a lot of grief. But, this can be, like I said, a low point that you hit. But do remember, it's only temporary, okay? It's not something that's, it's just something that you have to go through temporarily. And sometimes it's to teach you a lesson. Here we have the Four of Wands in reverse. This is a lack of support within the home or conflicts within the home. This can also talk about conflict within self. Now, this can point to gaining that inner balance and self-acceptance and maybe a personal goal, reaching that and celebrating it within. So there are two different ways that goes. Here we have this Moon card in reverse. This is confusion or fear and anxiety. Those are starting to subside because you're dealing with those things. You're working through those things. It could point maybe to the fact that you're trying to suppress feelings because you could be receiving messages. It could be psychic. It could be whatever. Maybe you're having problems and you're struggling listening to your gut and your intuition about what to do, and you need to find a way to get through that. Journal, meditate, take more time. But this is also that inner confusion. You're muddled. You still need to work through something, or you are working through. It could be trauma, anxieties, fears, habits, whatever those things are. You're working through those things, or either you have worked through those things and you're starting to come out of it. But here we have this Father of Wands in reverse, and with the Father of Wands in reverse, this is fire energy. So this could be your energy here. This could be Aries, Leo, or Sag, but this is someone who is reckless. They're aggressive, they're arrogant, they're overbearing, they have impossible expectations, they're impulsive, they disempower others. It can be somebody that's not a good leader. And I don't get the feeling this is someone else. I think this is you, and I think this is you going through the sense of maybe you feel angry or aggressive because you're not receiving the results that you hope for. And I also feel like you have impossible expectations for yourself as well, and you could be disempowering yourself through these internal conflicts or aspects in your life, not getting the results you want, and you're too hard on yourself, I think. And you're not being productive, and you're being rough on yourself because maybe you're not ready for the change, maybe you're not ready to take on something. I just keep getting that feeling off this card. Maybe you're a little arrogant. Maybe like you're fighting change, being a little stubborn in a way. And these negative aspects of yourself that you could be dealing with. But wonderfully, next to it is this Eight of Cups, which means you're going to walk away. You're leaving behind that disillusionment, that lack of emotional fulfillment. You're not waiting around. You're ready to move on to better and new things. The things that are no longer serving you, you're going to let them go. And I think it's those things that are holding you down, these impossible expectations or the self-doubt or these things within yourself or even within your environment. It could be within a relationship that are just weighing you down and causing you to feel that aggression and that conflict, I think, within self, within your mind. And you're going to let those things go. So, yeah. But looking at this, even though it can look kind of rough, and it's going to be a little tough during this month, because you're going to be doing some changing. You're going to be going through, and it may feel like bad luck with this Wheel of Fortune here. Like, oh my God, why is it always me? Why do I have to deal with this struggle? It's like the world against me right now. It can be that feeling, that low point feeling, but you're going to be working through some issues and tying up some ends that need to be dealt with and some emotional baggage as well, I think. And it's going to cause a change for you, and it's going to end a cycle that probably isn't serving you and helping you move forward onto something better, which is amazing because it's on a karmic, spiritual level, which is a beautiful thing. A powerful thing. So either you're going to get help from someone, and it could be a water sign, but it could be a mentor, somebody you need to reach out to for help. But if not, this is saying you need to start looking at things logically, or that you need to have balance within yourself, emotionally and mentally. And because with these cards right here, this whole top row is about not getting what you want for your efforts, and there's so much imbalance and disharmony going on. And I think with this first card here, and it's saying to you, maybe you need to look at things more logically, and you need to have balance. It's all about balance on this first row and just harmony going on. But I did pull some extra clarifiers for this Father of Cups just to make sure what it was talking about. And I got the King of Swords in reverse. This is a sense of loss of control or not having clarity, and it can cause you to be, again, aggressive. It can cause you to be this negative person, and this person that you're dealing with could be it. Maybe it's somebody in a relationship and they're the one causing the problem. Like, you've put in the effort and you're not seeing the results, and there's a disharmony between you. It could possibly be that, or this is, like I said, if it is a relationship, it could be a romantic relationship, partnership for work, friend or family, okay? And it could be someone that you've put a lot of effort in, and they could be a water sign, or they could just be people that have, sorry, I'm popping, trying to think. Oh, that's crazy. Could have those certain aspects or characteristics of this Father of Cups. But it's saying maybe there's someone who, or maybe you lack clarity about that person, or there's somebody who is ruthless and cruel and cold-hearted. And, maybe even with their words or something like that. Maybe you've put in a lot of effort with this person and you're not seeing the results you want. And it's caused a lot of imbalance and disharmony within you and within the relationship. And it's causing a breakup or a falling out or some kind of, rough patch going on here. It could be that. And if it's not, then this is all going on within yourself. And it's saying trying to win at all costs. Maybe that person's trying to win at all costs. Maybe you're trying to figure some way to get around all this issue, and you keep fighting it and fighting it. But the problem is there's trauma there. There's issues there that need to be worked through. They need to be dealt with. Because again, this is, you're muddled. You still need to work through something. There's some type of confusion going on, or suppressing the feelings that's going on with this, and there's something not right and it needs to be worked through. And it could just be within yourself that you lack clarity and you feel out of control, and you need to get balanced back on a mental and emotional level, and you need to look at things logically. And maybe you're trying to find ways around that, trying to take shortcuts to deal with it, to get what you want or to get back to this thing. And it could be within your mind that you're deceiving yourself and telling yourself there's not something wrong, but you need to work through those things. You need to get past those. You don't need to deflect and suppress those feelings or those issues, because there is something here about you putting in effort or you expecting something, and it could be your expectations were too high or impractical, but you've been doing something and you're not seeing the efforts. You're not seeing the feedback or the recognition for your effort, and it could almost feel as if a punishment in a way. And with this Six of Wands in reverse, this could also be your ego getting in the way. I love the fire energy, but y'all all can be rather stubborn, because I too have Aries as a North Node. So I can understand that whole point of being a little stubborn sometimes. And it's like your ego gets in the way. That excessive pride. Some people don't want to admit that they have an issue that they need to work on, or that something's not working, and they just keep trying to fight through it because you're a strong person. Maybe sometimes, like for me, I don't like to show weakness. And it could be that sort of thing. And it could be that you feel vulnerable, And with this Temperance card here, this Temperance card in reverse, there's a lack of balance. It's warning you that if you keep going ahead in this direction, it's going to lead to more turbulence. It's going to lead to discommunication. It's going to lead to a breakdown of some sort, and it's going to cause you grief, perhaps. And I think you need to figure out what these issues are and get this balance back within yourself, or within a relationship, or whatever's going on here, a situation. And it's like maybe you don't have a long-term goal about what to do, and it could just be moderation. Maybe you need to get things back on an even keel. Like I said, that balance between the head and the heart and your emotions, getting things right. With the Temperance card, it's all about moderation. It's all about common ground. It's all about harmony, and you're lacking that. And you need to examine what things within yourself or within your life or within a relationship is causing this this issue, this breaking balance that's going on here. You need to really look at all the different facets of it and figure out what's going on. And with this Two of Cups here in reverse, this could say that you need to practice self-love. You know, you feel vulnerable. There's some things here that you need to work with, and you're guarding yourself. Perhaps you could be guarding yourself in a relationship. You could be guarding yourself from your own emotions, because the cups always represent emotion and feelings. So, this could also be dealing in a relationship. This could be tension. This could be, again, imbalance or broken communication. It could be between this person. It could just be whatever. I mean, you know, I'm trying to figure it out here. But there could be like a falling out going on with someone or in a relationship, or it could just be yourself that you're falling out from your emotions, or you're falling out or away from these things, and you're guarding yourself too much from fear. And it's causing hiccups, and you need to really practice self-love, and you really need to reach out and be the first one to open up about these things, whether it's to a mentor, whether it's within a relationship, or whether it's just within yourself. Really hold that mirror up if it's within self and deal with those types of things. Because here with this Four of Pentacles, this is conservation. This is all overly cautious. Again, like you're guarding yourself. And it could be from this person. It could just be from your emotions and your traumas that you've gone through, or feelings that you try to suppress. And you're trying to win at all costs to avoid these things. And with that, this Four of Pentacles is saying, you know, you fear that loss, because changes in your life, or that you feel that you need to change, can really make you feel unstable and insecure. And that's just common. Any type of change, any type of thing like that can be a threat to our safety and security. And we kind of lock down a little bit because things feel unstable. But it's saying to you, and also with this, you can watch finances, or you can watch how much time you give to something. Because with this, it can also be that saying to you that you need to watch your finances, because the Pentacles deal with the physical realm. But I also see it as in the physical realm is where you give energy and you give time to a situation, or you give resources. And it could be to this person, or it could be to a relationship. Whatever it may be, it could be that you're stingy and you're not giving enough because you're fearing something and you're putting up walls and you're guarding yourself. And it's saying to you that you're going to have balance. You're going to have to figure out these aspects that are causing a disimbalance, and you're going to have to rebalance them. And you're going to have to work through those traumas. Okay, whatever it is, there's like these shadows or these issues. You're going to have to work through those things. You can't suppress them, which I keep getting that feeling of suppression from this card, and from that Five of Swords is just saying, you know, I'm trying to avoid it. I'm trying to go around it. You know, being tricky, being manipulative, win at all costs. Like, you're not going to get the better of me, you know, type of things. And that's also deceiving yourself, thinking you've won and you really haven't. Okay. So with that Two of Pentacles, it's saying that you have to balance decisions. You're going to have to adapt to this change, because it's going to come. And it's going to cause you a little bit of heartache to do it. And it might just have to be like, sometimes you have to get your feet knocked out from under you to make you realize something. You know, like they always say, sometimes you got to back slap somebody, you know, slap your mama type of thing, you know, to wake up. Sometimes you really just need a good slap in the face to wake up. And I know that sounds horrible, but sometimes it's the only way to get through to somebody. And like I said, with the fire energies, I love you guys so much, even though I have my own fire energy as well. And I had a father that was, you know, fire energy, and I had a brother that was fire energy. He was a Sagittarius. And sometimes, you know, it's like you're strong, beautiful individuals, and you have such beautiful passion for life and such, it's amazing. But too, at the same time, you don't like to show weakness. You don't like to feel, you know, like, I know what I'm doing, you know, I'm running this. And sometimes it can feel weird when you have to be like stopped, you know, because it can be a little stubborn ego going on there. Pride of a situation. Like, you don't want to admit your fault. All right. So, I don't know why I had the feeling I needed to say that, but I did. And it could be within a relationship, or it could just be within yourself. All right. It doesn't have to be external. It can be internal. It could be both, for all I know. It could be both. But with this Two of Pentacles here, you think maybe you can multitask, you think maybe you can get around it, and, oh, you know, I'm fine, I can figure ways around these issues, and, you know, whatever. And it's just going to cause you heartache. thinking you can figure it out and multitask and find a way around it, and it just causes more heartache. When really you should have assistance. And when I say, like, reach out to someone, it could even be a therapist or a healer of some sort, or a friend, whatever. But it's saying to you that you're going to have to figure those aspects out, and you're going to have to work on them, and you're going to have to let go of certain things that no longer serve you, so that you can have that balance back. Because here with this Five of Wands in reverse, that this is conflict. You know, it could be an internal conflict that you need to work on to get balance back. And it could be those aspects of being prideful, arrogant, you know, pushing against it, that trying to have those certain expectations. And it can be that you're rough on yourself as well. You expect certain things from yourself, and you're hard on yourself, and, oh, you can't do this, or you're not good enough, or, you know, you always have to be pushing yourself all the time to think, you know, to be on top. And it's not the case. You're just hurting yourself, and it's going to cause you grief. And this conflict that's going on, whether it's internal or external, is you're going to hit that low point. It's going to come out of the blue, and it's going to knock you down. But you're going to get back up, okay? You are. You're just going to have that moment to realize that things aren't stable, and I need to work on my inner self and work on my personal goals and work on my inner stability to get it back. And it could be conflict within a relationship or home. There's these two things going on about either external relationship or something within yourself. And with that Four of Wands in reverse is, personal goals or inner balance, or having that self-acceptance finally, that I'm needing to deal with these traumas or these anxieties or these fears, and I'm going to have to shine a light on these shadows and pull them to the surface. I can't keep suppressing them. I need to work through those things and break the cycles, because when you're in something and you end up in a bad relationship, sometimes you have to back up and see, okay, I'm in a bad situation. How did I get myself here? And how did I contribute to it? Because some people don't like to hold that mirror up and say, it could, whatever it may be, and say, okay, I played a part in this as well. You know, what could I have done different? What of myself? That's what I've learned in my life from any type of situation that's bad. I can't always blame the other person. I can't always blame circumstances. I have to put that mirror up and say, okay, what do I need to change? What led me to this point? How did I get here? How did I contribute to it? How can I change it? How can I improve myself to be a higher level of conscious, a higher part of, you know, like that better you? And that's a beautiful thing to work towards that. And you will do those things, whether you're going to work through it completely or you're going to be in the middle of working on it. And it's just going to be a process. But with this Father of Wands in reverse here, it can cause an aggression. It can cause that sense of, impossible expectations, and you're rough on yourself, and you're not being productive because you're so rough on yourself, and you're not dealing with those certain things. And it's like you can't let other things like success or what you think's, you know, or other, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't let other things get in the way. You need to work on those issues within self. And it could be you're overbearing on yourself or a situation, or you're impulsive, or you feel aggressive towards goals, or like, I want to be done now. I want it a certain way. And it's like, you know, I have to let these certain things go and break that type of cycle. You know, like, I expect this certain thing, and that's part of a cycle. You know, sometimes people have high expectations, or have an expectation or a certain goal, whether it's for themselves or other people, and they can end up hurting themselves because they want something a certain way and they build it up in their mind. And it's like, that's a cycle that needs to be broke. Sometimes you need to let something like that go and know that you can't have everything the way you want. You can't always control every aspect. And with this, I put a clarifier just to see, and I got the Six of Swords in reverse, which is emotional baggage, unresolved issues. This is a personal transition. You're resisting that change of what you're going to have to change within yourself to get that balance back, all those conflicts within yourself or within a relationship that you're going to have to really face. Release those things. These are lessons you need to understand. You have to release things to embrace a new way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's ending that cycle. It's changing it. Whatever's going on here is for a purpose. And with this Eight of Cups, thank God, coming next, you, whatever way you're being unfulfilled on an emotional level, you're going to let those things go. You're like, you know what? I want more. I'm meant for more. I'm meant for better. And I've got to let this stuff go. I have to move on. I have to step forward and go past this horizon, climb over those mountains and see the beauty that is beyond there. That because all this brokenness and all these things here, they don't serve me anymore. I'm going to let them go. Goodbye. You know?